So, put the script together and I'm going to redirect from it. I don't know why people have a problem with people reading from scripts. It's an easy way to put your ideas together, and who cares if they read like this? I'm sure you can get over it. But anyway, while doing my routine on checking Facebook, I was linked to this story from the Huffington Post.
I'm Blake Hansen for the Huffington Post. One guy, two girls, a 2-day-long sex marathon, and a lot of blood? WISN explains.
Two women are now in jail on a $150,000 bond, according to court records obtained by 12 News. Rebecca Chandler lured an Arizona man to her East Side apartment. According to documents, Chandler admitted to cutting the man while having consensual sex. But then her roommate, who she says is into satanic activities, joined in and the cutting got out of hand.
Chandler says her roommate, Raven Larrabee, nicknamed Scarlet, was the ringleader of the devilish activities. Gawker has more. Chandler also says that Larrabee did the majority of the cutting and that Larrabee was involved in satanic or occult activities. In their apartment, the cops found a bunch of books that sounds like they were purchased at the local Hot Topic, including the Necromantic Ritual Book and the Werewolf's Guide to Life. The victim survived the ritual and reported plenty of disturbing details to the police. The Daily Mail writes, the 18-year-old victim told police officers in Milwaukee that he was tied up with duct tape and rope by the pair and cut more than 300 times. Officers were able to find the apartment where he had been simply by following the trail of blood. He had a gruesome catalog of injuries, including slash and puncture wounds on his neck, legs, arms, and back. So what did the victim think he was getting himself into? Smoking Gun reports, search warrant records do not indicate why the Arizona man traveled to Milwaukee or what he expected to happen upon arrival. In a post earlier Wednesday on his Facebook wall, the man offered a one-word update: stitches. Both women are being held on a $150,000 bond. Charges are expected in the next few days. For the Huffington Post, I'm Blake Hansen.
The thing that I find amusing about this story is that I feel that if Satanism wasn't involved, there would be no coverage of this. If it had been just two girls, one guy having sex, and the guy survives with over 300 stab wounds, you may have just the local news reporting it. But since Satanism is involved, you have the Huffington Post making a video about it, along with other media outlets. Stories like this have existed even before the 90s, where you had what came to be known as a satanic panic. You have multiple stories talking about some teenager or young adult committing a crime in some form of self-styled satanic ritual, and the media just jumps on that like it's, I don't know, media crack. The satanic propaganda gets tossed around, and we're back to square one with Satanists defending their standpoint because the action of these fools are reflected upon us. You may be asking yourself, well, how does this reflect on Satanism? It doesn't, really. I'm sure there are many folks out there saying to themselves that if it weren't for the involvement of Satanism, then this would have never happened. Well, if this is what you would like to tackle the blame on, I think you should take a look about what it says on satanic sex. If all parties involved are mature adults who willingly take full responsibility for their actions and voluntarily engage in a given form of sexual expression, even if it is generally considered taboo, then there is no reason for them to repress their sexual inclinations. So straight from the book, it states that as long as the sexual activities are consensual and agreed on by all parties, and that the members of the act are willing to face the consequences, then there shouldn't be any need for rejecting that sexual urge. Even in cases where cutting is involved, it's okay, as long as the partner is willing to engage in this sexual activity. Though we cannot say for certain if this was in fact a consensual act, we can rule out that the cause was Satanism. But we are left with two sexually deranged women either taking their sexual expression too far or a straight-out act of violence. I just felt that I had to clarify that for some people, because I read the articles and the news reports and I could just sense the shitstorm that's soon to come from the fundy fucktards. And like I've said before, if it weren't for the mention of Satanism, this wouldn't have gotten as much attention as it already has. I mean, so what if she was into the occult or Satanism? What if she owned a Bible? Do you go out and say that a Christian woman stabbed a man 300 times during sexual intercourse? No. So why go about adding, oh, she's into the occult and satanic activities? It's for views, people, and nothing more. But anyway, this has been the Justice Court saying, Satan loves you, and he thinks of you in the shower.